it's Brittany and welcome back to my channel. Or if you are brand new, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on your bell so you will be notified every single time that I upload. I upload every single week, numerous times a week, every single week. And welcome to day 2 of Happy Britty almost said Brittyween. People think I should call it Brittyween, but I'm calling it Brittitines. So, happy Brittitines. So the whole month of February, well, it's not every day, it's like every other day that I'm uploading. Now it's time for part 2 of reading my subscribers' personal paranormal stories. So this is a new series on my channel where you guys send me your stories to my Instagram DMs, which is at BrittanyCrab44, and this is going to be a series that goes on and on and on. And I'm trying to do this on the regular because there's so many stories. I've read so many already, and I'm trying to, I want to get every single story. Like, that is my goal. It's getting kind of crazy now, I will say. Today's stories are very, when I first read them, I got speechless. So let's get into it, especially this one. It kind of reminds me of Krampus, so I was like, oh my god. So let's get into it. This comes from Jacky. So Jacky says, hi Brittany, so I saw your video and saw that you wanted us to share our stories. I actually have a really good one that I told on my YouTube channel, which is in Spanish, that I would love for you to tell on a video. Well, here goes nothing. So this day I was getting out of my shift from work. It was late and I was really tired. As soon as I got home, I went to bed and fell fast asleep. I was having a normal dream where I was hanging out with a coworker named Edward, when suddenly a figure appeared. This figure had a goat's face, big long horns. This is the Krampus story. It reminds me of Krampus, and it also reminds me of the goat demonic figure that Zach Bagans saw. If you haven't seen Demon House, definitely check out that documentary. Amazing. And you guys know, Zach is my idol. I love him. When I asked him who he was, he told me he was the devil himself. I was confused because I really didn't know what business would the devil have coming to me in my dreams. I asked, why are you here? His response was to grab my friend from the throat and said, I came here to take Edward's soul. After hearing that, I didn't think twice and said, I have an offer. To which he replied, what is your offer? I quickly told him that I would offer my soul in exchange of Edward. He looked at me confused and said, do you know what you are saying? Are you sure about what you are about to do? I said I was and added, the only thing I want is for you to not take his soul and to never bother or come for him again. After that, we shook hands and I woke up. When I woke up, I could still feel that same presence in the room, and it slowly faded away. Since that day, I think I might have sold my soul to the devil. Hope you use this in one of your videos. It would make me really happy to see you telling this creepy story. It's the creepiest thing that has ever happened to me. I think the only way I will know if this really happened is the day I die. When I first read this, I was like, this has to be in this video. That is so messed up. And what you said at the end, how you don't know if this was real until the day you die. And that's what I always say in my videos about the paranormal. I'm a huge believer, obviously, like you guys know, but we're not gonna know facts about it, like completely, fully, 100% until the day we die and experience the afterlife for ourselves. You know what I mean? This is one of the creepiest things, and it left me speechless when I first read it. I kind of wish I read it for the first time on camera, but still reading it, like, it freaks me out. That is so weird. Thank you for allowing me to share that. That's messed up. All I see is Krampus. That's all I see. And even in Demon House, the way Zach was describing that demonic goat figure, I mean, it makes sense to why it looks like Krampus, but anyways. You guys know I love Krampus. I mean, he's right over there. If you were with me for Britmas, he's literally right there. This next story comes from Ruth. There was an old woman who has lived at the end of my street. I didn't know her well, but she was always super nice, so I would see her in her window just sitting in her chair, doing her dishes and stuff like that. About 2 months ago, my mom told me that she had been dead for almost 6 months. I asked if she was sure, and she was. I only saw the old lady once after I found out she had been dead. She was sitting on the bench outside her house, and she just smiled at me as I walked past. That is... I've heard so many stories similar to that from people that I know in real life, like a neighbor or something that they didn't even know died, and then they found, like, they would see them, and then they would find out months later that that person they've been seeing and like waving to, interacting with, has been dead the whole time. That's like something out of a movie. That is so creepy. So thank you so much, Ruth, for sharing that. That gives me chills. So this next story comes from Brittany. Oh, I like your name, girl. Hey Brittany, this is a long one, so I apologize. So basically, I grew up in a haunted house. There was so much activity that I always joked and called it a portal. One of the most notable things was that my whole family have seen full body apparitions. Not just dark figures, but literally solid apparitions in the shape of each other, as real as you and me, if that makes sense. Yes, it does. For example, when my little sister was a baby and asleep in her crib, my brother saw my mom sit on the bed by the crib, just staring at my sister. Her face was blank, no smile, no nothing, and she was wearing my mom's nightgown. She looked up at my brother, then back down to my sister. Thing is, my mom was downstairs. When my brother told her what he saw, she ran upstairs and the woman was gone, but my mom's nightgown was still there. Then a few years later, me and my mom were watching TV and we saw my sister's head peeping over the back of the couch by the living room door before running off, but my sister was asleep. Basically, a few years later, my mom saw my brother in the bathroom. She heard the bath running, and then she saw my brother close the door, and my brother wasn't even home. I just got so many chills. My brother wasn't even home. And finally, there was one night when I was upstairs outside the room I shared with my sister. I heard her whisper, "Good night, Brit Brit." That freaks me out because it's my name. But when I opened the door to tell her to go to sleep, she was still in bed, fast asleep. Literally feared for my life that night. Haha. I don't mean to laugh, it's just, I don't know. Well, you were laughing, I don't know, it just kind of made me, I don't know, this is creepy. Anyway, that's all from this story though. If you ever want to know anything else, it doesn't even have to be for a video, just let me know. I'd be happy to share more of my experiences with you. I would love to hear more, Brittany. Good night, Brit Brit. I'm living though. Like, the stories that you guys have been sending me, even the ones that I haven't featured in videos yet, even though this is only the second subscriber video, I'm living. It's like better than Netflix. I just like sit in my bed at night, eat my popcorn, not eat popcorn, drink iced coffee, and I just read your stories. It's fun. So I'm loving this. Hi Queen, my name is Crystal and my twin sister, her name is Kavi, I hope I said it right. We have a story that we would like to share with the Paranormal Queen. Thank you. Before we start, I would like to say me and my twin sister, we love your videos on YouTube and you're our favorite YouTuber. Thank you so much to the both of you, that means a lot to me. So our grandparents moved to a new house. The house was in a little village and no one was near their house, so it was just their house in the middle of nowhere. So our parents had to leave us with our grandparents because they really had to go, so we stayed the night in our grandparents' house, but we were feeling like we were being watched. So we were getting ready for bed and I was washing my face while my sister was asleep, and suddenly I saw a black figure of a man and I thought it was my grandfather. So I decided to go to sleep, and in the morning I woke up, it was like 6 in the morning, and I saw a little girl in the bathroom. I was really scared, so I went to bed. An hour later, everyone was awake and I told my grandfather. What was he doing in the middle of the night, and he said I was asleep the whole night. So then I got the chills all over my body because I was like, if it was not my grandfather, then who was it? So in the evening, my grandma told me to go do the laundry in the basement, and while I was doing the laundry, I saw the same little girl that I saw in the bathroom that morning. So I quickly did the laundry and ran upstairs. Oh my god, that would freak me out, but like in the best way possible. So I ran upstairs because I was really scared. My grandma asked if I was okay, and I said, yeah, I'm okay. I didn't tell her anything. So that night, my grandma brought an old book that had an old photo in it, and I saw the little girl and I was shook. My grandma said, are you okay? It looks like you've seen a ghost or something. And I told my grandma, what's that little girl's name? And she said her name is Emily. And she was my grandma's cousin that passed away when she was only 7. So then we went back home. We hope you liked our story and we love you so much. Oh, I love you guys. Thank you so much for sending in your story. That is very cool. Creepy AF, but I'm living. It's so cool when you see a spirit, you know what you saw or who you saw, and then all of a sudden you see the picture of the little girl that you saw. And then in this case, it's your grandma's cousin when she was a little girl and she passed away when she was 7. So it's always, I mean, that must have been so crazy to see her picture and being like, that is the girl that I just saw downstairs in the basement. This next story comes from Olivia. Okay, I'm sharing my paranormal experience. One time when I was around the age of 8 or 9, I remember waking up in the middle of the night and I felt sick. So I went to go get water from the kitchen. At that time, I was still living at my grandmother's house and it was pretty old. Anyways, after I got my water, I heard a bell sounding noise coming from the backyard, and there was this door leading to outside in my grandmother's kitchen. So I went back upstairs, grabbed my shoes, raced back downstairs, then outside to investigate because I was a curious little girl. I don't blame you, girl. I'm the same way. I would have done the same thing. You are a brave little girl. Props to you. What I saw terrified me. I went outside with a flashlight and I went around the gate and I saw this demonic looking creature, if that's a good way to describe it. But it turned around and looked at me. It was tall with this disgusted look on its face. And after I saw it, it got on its hands and knees and started crawling towards me. So I dropped my flashlight in a panic and raced inside. I went upstairs, back to bed, and I fell asleep. I woke up the next morning thinking it was a dream. This went on for about a week, and then out of nowhere, it stopped. I've never told anyone this story before, LOL. Thank you. Olivia, thank you so much, first of all, for, I'm honored that you're telling me and you want me to share this on my channel. That is messed up. Why does it remind me of Krampus though? Because you heard a bell sound, you go out and you see this demonic looking creature with a disgusted look on its face. I've never heard of that. Like a demonic creature giving you a disgusted look. So it's interesting that that's what you acknowledged. So clearly it had to have made a face that was so disgusted. You know what I mean? Because usually it'd be like, oh my god, it was like this creepy thing. You wouldn't really be taking in the features, like the facial features of it. So the fact that you're just like, it was looking at me like it was disgusted at me. So, and the final story for this video, and there's gonna be more videos, like, don't worry guys, this is a series that's gonna go on and on. I believe her name is Trisha, and she says, hi Brittany, I love your videos since 2017. Thank you so much. My first paranormal experience is when I moved to a new state in Malaysia. I also got my first dog named Thunder. I love that name. I loved taking him on walks. It was a regular day of taking him out until he suddenly stopped and stared at an empty road for a few minutes. I tried pulling him, but he wouldn't budge. Then he went crazy and started barking at the empty road. I looked over, but there was no one there. I think the spirit went away because I was finally able to pull him away and go home, but I will never forget that moment ever in my life. My second experience with spirit is when I was sleeping and I woke up in the middle of the night, but I didn't know why I just woke up. It was weird. Then something happened that I will never forget. When I opened my eyes, there was a girl standing next to my bed. She looked my age, wearing a white pink dress. Her hair was in a ponytail, but she had no face. I'm kidding. Her whole body was glowing light blue, and she was stuck in a position with her hand trying to touch me. That is so creepy. I felt calm, okay, that's good, and scared at the same time. I stared at her a few minutes and hid under my blanket for a few seconds. I came out of the blanket and she was gone. I told my dad about it, and he went to see his friend who is a monk. The monk said that the girl has a connection with me from my past life, but she was a good spirit according to the monk. I never saw her again after that night. So there's different auras surrounding these spirits, these different lights and colors that people see. And doesn't blue mean protection? Because you said you felt calm, and she's someone who is supposed to be connected to your past life. And I mean, you were scared at the same time, but the fact that she was glowing blue, I believe that means protection. But the certain colors each have their own meaning. So blue is a good color to see. And I know another common one is gold. Like if you're looking on the positive spirits, gold, white, of course, blue, pink. I've experienced pink before. I don't really focus so much on the different colors. I mean, if it does come up, then I'll be like, oh, okay, but I haven't really experienced it too much, but I have experienced it. So that's so interesting. Creepy though, just the fact that she was holding that position. But that is part 2 of reading my subscribers' paranormal stories. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. And like I said, don't be sad if your story did not make it in my videos yet. Series is gonna keep on going, and it's gonna be regular. So my last video was like 5 days ago, about like the first video for this series was 5 days ago. So this is going up February 3rd, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you haven't sent me your paranormal story yet, then please send it to my Instagram DMs, which is at BrittanyCrab44. And if it looks like I haven't opened it or accepted it yet, it does not mean that I haven't. I mean, it could be that I haven't, but there are a lot of stories that I have read already, and I haven't even accepted it yet. I've just been reading it and trying to figure out like which video I should put it in. So just letting you know. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoyed my second Brittany Times video, and I will see you in my next one.